Before I get into the video, I'd just like to express my thanks for watching. I know that we all have a lot of things grabbing at our attention every day, and I'm grateful that you're choosing to spend a few of those moments that you have with me. Now let's get into it. Of all the works of fiction I've consumed in my life, I don't think I've ever had one impact me quite as much as this little game that's on screen right now. It's called Outer Wilds. The basic premise is pretty simple. It's just Groundhog Day in space. Your character wakes up looking up at the night sky, and you board your ship and race off to whatever moon, planet, or asteroid seems interesting to you. You're free to explore for 22 minutes, at which point a musical cue plays to let you know that you have 1 minute left until the sun goes supernova, consuming you, your friends, and every planet in the solar system. In the moments after you die, you see in reverse images of the last 22 minutes leading back towards the moment you wake up, and you repeat the cycle. It's honestly kind of perfect. Because you die every 22 minutes, nothing is permanent. So there are no upgrades to make to your ship to make it faster, or to make your jetpack more efficient, or, I don't know, to make your flashlight shine brighter. There's nothing. The progression in this game is found solely in the lessons you learn and your own ability to connect the dots and see how those lessons will enable you to reach new places and continue your exploration. This is a pretty unique approach to game design, and I've never seen another video game quite like it. Outer Wilds is easily one of the best video games ever made. It is a critical darling, got screaming reviews all across the board from every outlet and every reviewer saying you must play this game. And I agree with them. I think this game is a masterpiece, obviously. But this video isn't a review of Outer Wilds. I'm not telling you about this so that I can convince you to play it. Although, if you are interested, you really should give it a shot. No, my goal in talking about Outer Wilds is to give you some context so that I can help you understand the story that I do want to tell, which is a story about me. One of the most frequently mentioned talking points of this game is that because of its nature as a time loop that relies on your knowledge, you can only play it once. And in a way, that is true. If you know how to reach the ending, you can do it the moment you load up the game. There's nothing stopping you. Still, I believe that one of the hallmarks of a work of art is the value of repeated exposure. I got a lot out of my first playthrough of Outer Wilds, but the second playthrough had a much more profound effect on me. With that being said, let's pivot to where I was when I played Outer Wilds the second time, in January of 2024. When I think back to January 2024, the main emotion I remember is dread. There was this sense that something terrible was looming on the horizon, and nothing that I did was going to change that inevitability. It's safe to say that I was in the worst place in my life at this point. I was at my physically unhealthiest. I was severely overweight, bordering on obesity, and was pre diabetic. I'd just been kicked out of school. My career was going nowhere fast. I was in a job that I was not satisfied with and didn't see any other prospects. There were some other things going on too, which you probably know if you knew me. At the time, I had been married for about 4.5 years, and things had been going pretty poorly in my marriage. My wife had moved out of our apartment in 2023, partly because of the failings that I've listed above, partly due to other factors that I won't get into. She had asked to go no contact for a few months, while she decided if she really wanted to stay married. We agreed to talk again at the end of January, so I texted her and asked to meet, and she agreed. That meeting on February 1st of 2024 was traumatic, to put it mildly. I left with the sure conclusion that my marriage was over. There was no fixing it. Nothing I did was going to make her trust me again. So I drove home. I sat in my car outside of my grandma's house, and I quickly became overwhelmed by my emotions. Every failure in my life seemed to hit me all at once. I was barely employed. I was unhealthy and unhappy. I was a terrible failing student, and now, on top of all of that, my marriage was over. I couldn't handle it. It was the most hopeless I'd ever felt in my entire life. The thought of going forward was unbearable. I didn't want to live the life I was in anymore. So I thought about ending my life. I'd already thought of suicide several times in the previous months. I pretty much had a plan in place. All I needed to do was actually go through with it. But I was scared. I was still unsure if that was actually what I wanted. I didn't know who to talk to or what to do to get help or guidance for the future. So I just sat in my car and waited to see what thoughts would come to me. Early in Outer Wilds, you will discover that the Nomai, this extinct race that once inhabited the solar system, were brought to this place in search of a planet called the Eye of the Universe. It's this planet that is supposed to be older than the universe itself, and its presence is felt everywhere in the game. Although Outer Wilds is a free-form exploration game, it becomes very clear to the player early on that the real goal is to reach the Eye, although the why of reaching it is entirely up to the player. For me, the search was closely tied to a fact that is easily observable at any point in the game. As you look out into the night sky full of stars, you might notice that several of those stars are beginning to burst. As the 22-minute loop progresses, the rate at which those stars goes out increases dramatically. It seems as though every star in the night sky is going supernova. Your observations are confirmed by conversations with other astronauts. The universe is dying. The inevitable heat death of the universe has come, and your solar system is just one of uncounted trillions experiencing a fiery end. So, this is horrifying, but I'm not worried, because this is a video game. So there's going to be a way to save everything. So I think to myself, I've got to fix this. So I go rushing to the end to find the Eye of the Universe, because that's what you do when you play a video game. You find the end, and you fix everything, and you save the day. But that isn't what happens in Outer Wilds. When you eventually do make your way onto the Eye, a lot happens. It's really an incredible experience, and I hate to spoil it for you, but I need to do so for you to understand the point I'm trying to make. When you do arrive on the Eye, you learn that the universe did, in fact, end. There's no fixing it. There's no fixing anything. So the only option that is left is to move forward. You witness a nice recollection of some of your experiences and discoveries that led you to this point, one that is different based on what you've done and who you've met on your journey. You wind up in a forest where you find a campfire, just like the ones scattered throughout the solar system where you found the other astronauts from your home. You bring your friends together to play one last song by the campfire, one that builds and builds as each member joins the chorus. And as they all play their instruments, something appears above the campfire. And then, well, I'll just show you. I love music. I love that composers can tell a story with such strong emotion without uttering a single word. The ending of Outer Wilds is as true an ending as one can be. Everything is over, and yet because you persist, you get to see the glorious start of something new. And as I sat in my car contemplating suicide, this music from this moment started playing in my head. It had been on my mind a lot at the time, because remember, I had just finished the game. But now it was just getting louder and louder and louder, until it drowned out all those terrible self-destructive thoughts and brought a new one, crystal clear. Yes, your old life is over. So how about you build a new one? What if there's a life out there where you aren't unhealthy? Where you aren't a bad student? What if there's a life out there where you can regain control? One where you can overcome your negative habits? One where you can be free of shame and guilt, where you can make connections with the people around you, who love you and who accept you for who you are, flaws and all? What if there's a life out there where you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of who I am, and you mean it, and it's waiting just around the corner? What if it isn't even around the corner? What if it's right here? And all you need to do is open your eyes and wake up. My life since this moment hasn't been perfect. I still struggle. I have hard days, weeks, and months. But I have had so many great, rich, fulfilling, life-changing experiences as well. I am so grateful that I chose to live. So, if you're in the situation I was in, where you feel hopeless, and you're drowning in despair, and you don't know if you want to go on, please hear me when I say this. Don't give up. There's more than enough joy in this world to go around. You don't need to do anything to be worthy of it. You're already enough. Life is worth rediscovering. There are experiences and opportunities and love and success here and now just waiting for you. So make the choice that I did. Choose to live. I promise you that it is worth it. Thank you to Mobius Digital for making this game that helped save my life. Thank you to my brother Scott for putting this whole video together. And thank you, the viewer, for watching. I've got a lot of other fun stuff coming up in the future, so I'd love it if you stuck around and subscribed and liked and did all that YouTuber stuff. All right, I'll see you next time.